Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Brad.
And this week on Hood Slappers, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Honda Civic. If somebody were to see me riding a bike in public, they might think, that guy looks like an absolute moron, or where's his helmet? And let's be honest, some might even feel sorry for the bike itself. But many years ago, when Soshiro Honda saw people riding a bike, his thoughts went far beyond ghastly remarks like those. It went somewhere he never would have imagined possible.
And that road has led to here. This is the all-new, fully redesigned 2022 Honda Civic. It is certainly a long way off from what Mr. Honda could have imagined, but it retains all the core values that gave Honda its humble beginning. With the old model thrown out the window and everything but the engines revamped, the 2022 Honda Civic comes at a crucial time in the car world. With sedan sales on the decline, has Honda done enough to still make the Civic attractive to buyers? Will it maintain a steady stream of buyers? Is the 2022 Civic a gamble for Honda?
It's funny you mentioned that, Brad. I happen to have a quote here from Soshiro Honda himself, if you'll allow me to read it.
You don't wear glasses.
Huh?
You don't wear glasses.
No, but whenever someone's about to read something and they put glasses on, it makes it seem all that more important. And he writes, "We have consistently chosen a most difficult path filled with hardships. We must possess the will to challenge difficulties and the wisdom to create new values without being bound by established standards. We do not wish to imitate others." I have a child at home who thinks that Master Splinter from the Ninja Turtles is the wisest thing to come out of Japan, okay? But I'm gonna have a serious conversation with him when I get home because this Mr. Honda is absolutely brilliant. The future of the car is very interesting. We have the up and up of SUVs, electric cars, autonomous cars, and most likely hydrogen cars in the future. And although maybe the segment is dying, Honda is still willing to take the risk because they know their clientele and they know people want Civics.
Right, so let me go over some of the highlights of the new Civic, because as I've said before, the previous generation, it was getting, well, a little stale. But this is fully redesigned from front to back. With that come things like beautiful LED headlights on all trim packages, a 7-inch driver's screen with an optional 10.2-inch upgrade should you choose to go with the touring model. For those who complain about their car being too hot or too cold when you get in, they even have you in mind because every Civic trim comes with remote start. The infotainment screen is a nice 7 inches, but if you need glasses, unlike Jared, the touring does come with a 9-inch display screen.
One new feature that Honda's added to their touring model is the one-touch operational trunk. Hold down the key, the trunk comes up all the way. Nothing groundbreaking, but if you ever had the last generation Civic, you'd hit your trunk release and the trunk would only open up about ½ an inch. You'd still have to reach down and bring it up the rest of the way. A little backwards, but they've really managed to capture what a trunk should do when you hit the release button. One thing I really like about the new Civic is Honda has finally decided to outsource the stereo system. They used to just say we have a premium audio system where other manufacturers would use Beats, Fender, Harman Kardon. Finally, we can now say we have a Bose audio system in the Civic, and that's going to give you 12 speakers, one of which being a subwoofer.
As I said earlier, the engine remains the same. You have your 2-liter naturally aspirated engine and your 1.5-liter turbo. Now, the only difference is that you get an additional 6 horsepower with the 1.5 turbo. Now, that's not much, but it makes it a round number, 180 horsepower instead of 174. Your fuel economy also improves, but only by a slight margin.
But there's a problem.
Problem? How? This car's fantastic.
No, let me show you. That.
What?
That. The Civic sedan only comes in a CVT transmission. There's no more manual gearbox.
None?
None. I mean, Honda builds an amazing manual gearbox. I learned to drive in a manual Civic. I only drive manual because of that. You drive manual, well, it's not really a car, but that thing that you drive.
Huh. Well, considering all that then, I guess I'll drive first this time, eh?
No, I'll still drive first. I just prefer manual.
23 years, the Civic has been #1 in Canada. 23 years.
That is something, isn't it? I looked up other streaks that are impressive like that. Turns out The Undertaker had 21 victories in a row in his WWE career. Wow. Floyd Mayweather, 49-0.
Huh?
And I haven't cried since May 2005.
Sorry, what? Truthfully, a lot of the success of the Civic and Honda in Canada is because they've made so many investments in Canada after so many years.
That's true.
And they've also committed that by 2050, they're going to cut CO2 emissions in half. Everything. Cars, its products, its business operations, everything.
Well, as you know, Mr. Honda does like a challenge. I can read you the quote if you'd like.
Wait, do those even have lenses in them? How? That opens and that opens. Why doesn't that? I swear you guys got it, so I'm not getting any air here. I cannot believe this.
Another change Honda made in the Civic is getting rid of the blind spot camera. Now, I know why they did, but I did like the blind spot camera. It was nice because you could see what was back there. Is it coming? Is it going? How close is it to you? It just told you a lot. I really, really liked that camera.
Yeah, but they did replace it, right, with the blind spot indicator giving you warning on both sides, right? Which is helpful. But on top of that, our driving aids also include the following, apparently. You've got adaptive cruise control, you've got low speed follow, lane keep assist, low speed brake control, rear cross traffic monitoring, and traffic jam assist, which sounds awesome to me. You can go to hondahelp.ca and it'll give you a full breakdown of all the helps that you have with the Honda Civic. I am roasting.
Well, okay.
I don't understand. Look, at my AC button's not on again.
No,
AC
you just
off,
turned
AC
it up.
on,
It doesn't
low.
light up. I genuinely think Honda has done a fantastic job at the Civic. I mean, look at the dash. This looks fantastic. This is luxury, but at a very reasonable price. I, for one, like the ventilation system. It reminds me of a vintage car, almost like a 1977 Civic. This is very in touch with what Honda was at one point.
And listen, for a price starting just under $25,000, I mean, that's a value car you cannot beat. New scene. He threw that in there. Something is afoot. We're so paranoid.
There's nothing we're
No,
doing.
that wasn't in the script. You brought it up. It looks closed. Jared, as you know, okay, I am currently a compact sedan owner. I mean, this is my wheelhouse. I think it would be really great for the viewers if I got behind the wheel, kind of gave them my breakdown from the driver's seat.
I don't think your breakdown would really connect with the viewers. I mean, you do drive a compact sedan hardly.
We hardly. It's manual.
Yeah.
It's. I've been behind that wheel now for 13 years. If anyone knows,
That's almost
compact,
as long as my cry record. This might be the hottest day we have ever filmed.
It might be, and I think if I had one critique about the 2022 Honda Civic is we've been in here a while, and I can't seem to get it cooled in here. And you know, like my 2010 Toyota Corolla, it's cooled down by this point. So I'm just gonna flag that.
No, that's because we have the AC blowing up through the defrost vents to keep the camera cool.
Absolutely, but even when I do that, it cools the whole car. So
and we have it turned down so you can't
we
hear the
have it
fan.
on low.
That's not a car problem. That's a Brad problem.
Something feels amiss here. Fully redesigned.
Fully redesigned.
But they didn't even go hybrid or electric. What's that about, do you think?
Well, why would you?
Well, that seems to be the way of the future, hybrid and electric. In fact, they've committed themselves to cutting emissions in half by 2050. So why not?
But I don't think, personally, that Honda has their eyes set on going fully electric. I think hydrogen is the way of Honda's future.
So
that's a theory.
Hydrogen is different than electric how?
Well, there's water that comes out of the...
I don't know how hydrogen
the
cars
muffler.
work.
Listen, I don't know either, but I know Honda knows, and they're going to do it.
So, can I ask you, what made you cry in May 2005?
Oh, that's classified.
That's classified
That's
information.
classified. Absolutely.
But you recall.
I do recall the date and time, because the time I had cried previous to that, it was so long before that, I wanted to track the day, or at least the month, of this cry session. Well, when was the last time you cried?
Probably a couple weeks ago. TV shows make me cry.
TV shows make you cry?
Absolutely.
What are you
Beautiful
watching that makes you
movies.
cry?
Maybe not TV shows, maybe movies.
What was the last movie that made you cry?
Last movie that made me cry. You know what? Maybe it's been a little...
See, I bet you
Longer.
haven't cried in a while.
It's definitely not been 16 years. It's definitely not been a year.
No.
I'm the guy in the movie that when the light comes up, right, you got to pretend to fumble around with your popcorn and stuff because you
I've
got
seen
a
a
little
movie
bit.
with you, and you did.
Yeah, you know what? See, and you're not safe to cry around.
Honda has indeed come a long way, establishing themselves in 1948, debuting their first motorcycle in 1949, 1959 coming to the US, 1969 the debut of their first car, the N600, okay, and then 1999 building the world's ugliest car, the Honda Insight.
Listen, I got to tell you, at the risk of sounding a bit like a weasel,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I do think there's something special about the Civic. I mean, the road has been long for this little car, but it just keeps going and going. And whether you like the car or not, you just have to kind of admire its longevity.
It really is brilliant, isn't it? The Civic is truly a car for everyone. Whether you're learning to drive, modifying your Civic, growing your family, retiring, or purchasing the last car you think you'll ever own, the Civic should not be overlooked. It's been #1 in Canada for 23 years, and who knows where the next 23 years will take us. And with that, I give the all-new 2022 Honda Civic my hood slap of approval.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Well, we've run out of things to talk about. Do you want to maybe turn on my AC now? Is that allowed? Are you going to admit at the end of the episode what you did?
No, I didn't do anything, I swear.
Is it going to be, am I going to watch the episode and there's going to be a thing?
You got it.
A thing come up?
No, I'll tell you what.
It says what Brad well, I saw you two laughing in here. Maybe that's just too big of. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe that's just, like no car has a.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels so good. I can feel it on my neck. This is never. Okay, before when we were cranking, it didn't feel like this.
It's because it was only coming out the
Out
top.
of there. Okay. All right. I take everything back. That was instant cool down.